folks, and welcome back to an episode of the Complete Liverpool Playthrough. Things are, I say this quite often these days, but things are hotting up. But before we get into today's game against Southampton, a huge game as well. They are 5th position, we're in 4th, and it's very, very close at the top. People can't believe in the comment section that it is a 5-team gap, but separated by only 2 points. It's really quite remarkable. It's really getting exciting the more we go down there, and goal difference could become a little bit tighter today as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with the fixtures coming up. There's games happening which I'm not part of, and then there's games happening that I'm very much a part of, which should be very exciting as well. So before we kick things off, though, I wanted to talk about Roberto Firmino, who went through a little spell, you might remember, where he wasn't really scoring enough goals. Currently rated at 41.5 million, which is a lot for a Liverpool player in general, but especially someone like Firmino, who, as I say, recent form has proven to me that 5 goals in 5 games, he's back on it again. He went through that little barren spell just above my head, you can see, where he didn't score a goal for ages, didn't really contribute, or was subbing off a lot. He just didn't feel like he was really getting involved. More recently, I'm keeping him on the pitch. He's scoring goals, getting key moments for me, and he's playing really, really well. I'll say 5 goals in his last 5 games. He's back in form. Hopefully he continues that form today. And I think the real thing to note about Firmino is that his goals per 90 minutes, he's getting 0.6 goals. That's a goal every 2 games, like guaranteed. It's 6 goals every 10 games. It's a really, really good ratio for a player like him. As I say, not sort of traditionally your out-and-out centre forward, but more of a sort of a link-up player, but does really well. I think him and Coutinho both actually really, really benefit from having pace out wide. When you've got Keita and you've got Mane on either side, that is the sort of system that he really, really does thrive in. So let's kick things off then, and let's carry on forward. We've got a few days to go actually before we play Southampton, and of course Southampton are a team that Liverpool in the past have taken players from and are likely to do the same again. I think we'll see maybe 1 or 2 come over from Southampton to Liverpool in the not so distant future, so I guess we'll wait and see. I sort of referenced this before. It's very tight at the top. It's actually equally tight at the bottom. West Ham, Stoke, Hull, Middlesbrough and Swansea and Burnley, I guess, as well, all fighting for survival. These games that are happening midweek, the reason I bring this up, the games that are happening midweek influence that a lot. We've, of course, played 34. Chelsea can come a little bit closer, but again, they're a little bit of a way behind. So we are going to keep a little eye on what happens in the midweek, just because it's always interesting, especially with the games we've got coming up as well. We're playing Sunderland, who are relatively down there, not completely down there, but are suffering a lot. Actually, they're not down there at all, Ben. You're talking absolute toffee. What are you talking about? I think I meant someone else. Who did I mean? Who begins with S? Stoke. Okay, well this is... I don't edit these, so they have to keep that gaff in now. Ordinarily, I'd cut that out and start again, but... transparency is key. But no, Wednesday coming up then. Oh no, it wasn't the Wednesday, it was the Saturday. I'm all over the place. Middlesbrough lost then, which is quite big. City actually won a match, which is a bit surprising. How does that change things at the bottom then? Everything, I must say, looks relatively similar. Chelsea did win their game, so they do get a little bit closer. They're not completely out of getting a Champions League spot. I mean, 4 points behind with 4 to go. Certainly possible. Arsenal and Manchester United have played in the FA Cup. There will be a Manchester United-Tottenham final. Harry Kane gets a hat-trick. Dele Alli gets 2 against Brighton. I dare say a slightly easier draw in the FA Cup semi-final, and we've received £100,000 for Fabio Borini, which I thought that ship had sailed, so I'll take that and enjoy it, I think, as well. Right, carrying on, we're not too far away from our game against Southampton, about a week away now. Cristiano Ronaldo, they sort of won best player in Europe. There's a surprise. Him and Messi sort of just vie for that constantly. It will be interesting, won't it, when Messi and good Pistorius out again, best transfer I've ever made. When Messi and Ronaldo retire, it really is going to be a question of who steps up and becomes the best player in the world, who gets that title. There's a few players out there. I mean, this could be a little sort of discussion in the comment section. Who do you think is the next best player? Like, could you see a player going on a 3-year run of winning World Player of the Year? Is it a more obvious name, like someone like Neymar, maybe? Or I think people mentioned Dybala. I think our football manager Dybala gets sort of the prominence he deserves. If he gets a big move away, maybe from Juventus to one of the big sort of elite, sort of pressure-hungry, that's the wrong side, like sort of press-hungry sides, I'm talking Real Madrid, essentially, then we might see him sort of very front and centre at the head of world football. I think that goes for a lot of players, though. You could maybe argue. Not necessarily from the Premier League, though. I don't necessarily think the next best player in the world comes from the Premier League. I mean, we've got English stars like Harry Kane and Dele Alli, but I don't think they're ever going to be quite up there with the likes of... Well, I'm talking sort of Messi, Ronaldo level again, aren't I? But will we see that ever again? That's the question. There's been such a sort of anomaly in world football more recently that you never know. You never know. So who do you think might be next? Maybe you've got someone that sort of that you're thinking really could be a shining star. But I mean, to do it I think for me, it's that just before we play this game, it's the longevity of the two players that I don't think we'll see again. They've been so good for nearly 10 years now. I think that's remarkable. Anyway, talking of remarkable footballers, Jordan Henderson starts as captain for us in the middle. He could be next, for all you know. Mignolet being goal, then Klein, Van Dijk, Matip and Kolasinac at the back. We've got, as I say, Shan and Henderson in the middle. Coutinho behind Roberto Firmino, who we spoke about just a moment ago, and Mane and Keita flanking on either side. Pastore's out, we're not really fully fit for this game, so we'll put Danny Ings in there, as his goal per game ratio is better than most people's. We've not really been making that many subs recently. Our first 11 have been getting the job done. Hopefully they continue to do just that, so it makes life a little bit easier for us as we progress forward. This is a huge game. Beat Southampton, we create the gap between ourselves and them, and of course I'll continue to push for the title. It might all come down to the final day against Everton, a Merseyside derby, to dictate where Liverpool finish. Will it be in an automatic Champions League group stage spot? Will it be champions? Will it be a fourth place? Southampton beating us here would twist everything on its head, and for Southampton actually favourites for today's game. Jay Rodriguez start up top, then we've got Buffal, Tadic there as well, Classy, Davis and Oriol Romeu. I don't know how that was a struggle for me. Bertrand, Lucas, Gardos and Cedric and Fraser Forster will be in goal. Charlie Austin on the bench, so, as well as Kevin Stewart, of course, who we sold to Southampton at the start of the season. I don't think he's necessarily been value for money. Well, never mind, because we took that money and spent it on Pastore, so what do we know? As we continue forward then, let's get into this game. We'll do the team talk. We'll say, I completely believe in you. You've got what it takes, faith, etc. Oh, that just looks nice. I don't, because of the way their stadium is built, that looked really, really nice. It looks very sunny in Southampton. Have we got a weather report we can look at? 7 degrees in April. Well, it looked nice, I thought. I mean, I approve of the weather. So there you are. The pitch looks nice and green too. Nice surface to play on, which I appreciate. Just looks like a nice place to play football, Southampton. Anyway, hopefully it will be for us, as Klein, of course, he's played football at Southampton. On this right-hand side, can whip in a delivery to the front post. Firmino's there. The control was a little bit awkward, you have to say. Klein puts it back in. It's blocked by Davis and cleared forward to Buffal, who's very, very quick, very agile. Good dribbling. Klein gets in on him, though, and puts a stop to that before it starts, as the ball's lofted forward towards Rodriguez. Headed away, and now Coutinho with a chance to move. He plays it towards Mane again, another former Southampton player. And Fraser Forster launches it towards Tadic. Shan heads down to Keita, and Coutinho with a chance to work a little bit of magic. But plays it back to Shan, who's got options all over. Coutinho now into Firmino, who's got that pace either side of him. Goes back to Keita. Back heel comes in from Keita. Firmino, if he can get this ball into the middle, Coutinho's there. It's maybe fouled, but I'll tell you what, there it is. Keita with the goal. Makes it 1-0. 8 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. This is a huge goal. Look at that. Look how tight this could potentially become. If Arsenal win their game, Spurs and United, I think, maybe draw their games, we could have 4 teams with 3 games to go on 70 points. That would be just exciting, wouldn't it? There we are then. We get things off to a fantastic start. We create that gap between ourselves and Southampton. Top 4 is looking more and more likely, but this game isn't quite over yet, as Roberto Firmino picks up a dead leg. Not ideal for us. Coutinho puts in a free kick though towards Van Dijk, who against his former club, not afraid to celebrate, still giving it a little bit, and makes it 2-0. 25 minutes gone. Really, this is the best start. Great start for us. The perfect start. And I have to say, this Liverpool team have been clicking very well in this sort of second half of the season. It's all coming together again, with a little iffy patch in the middle, but it seems to be working out. Of course, we started quite badly, you might recall, as the highlights keep on coming. 26 minutes gone, just after their first goal. Well, Matip's got one now. Matip's loving it. The defensive partnership getting back-to-back goals, a 3-0 lead. And I'll tell you what, folks, I mentioned it before, but our goal difference is absolutely loving this. We need these goals to keep flying in, if they can do. Coutinho, lovely delivery. Matip rises very, very high indeed. Great header down. You can see our goal difference is becoming level with United and Spurs, and that's what we need to happen. Another corner. This is just minutes later. Coutinho, another ball in, and another. Oh no! I thought it was going to be another goal. Matip saved on the line by the Southampton defender. It's Keita with it now. There could be a fourth. Very, very quickly, Firmino chips it to the back post. Classy heads away. Coutinho's back on it in a dangerous area. Mane with a strike on goal. Henderson will pick it up, plays it towards the back post, and it's headed over. But really, really good start from us so far in this game. 3-0. Half an hour gone. I'm loving it, and the games around the grounds, I don't think much is happening. I think United and Spurs both drawing at the moment. I don't think they play each other, so what are they doing at the moment? We'll get these scores up and we'll just lift this slightly. And look at that, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the league table right now. Did you see that? We'll take a look at it again in just a moment. I'm very pleased with where things are going, boys. Keep it up. Let's just pause this game briefly. Look at the top of the table there. This is where it's all to play for. Have you ever seen it this close? Genuinely, have you ever seen it this close? Spurs currently being held by Sunderland of all teams. Relegation threat in Sunderland in 9th position. Arsenal, as I say, beating Everton. You've got Chelsea beating Leicester. Manchester United drawing with Watford. You'd expect both Spurs Spurs and United to get some goals and take some leads. But if they don't, then oh my word, look at that. How exciting is that? I mean, we're at this point now. We've got 3 games and a half to go, and all of the teams are on 70 points. That in itself is quite exciting. Of course, Spurs and Tottenham can both go on to 72 if they win their games. It looks as if we'll be safely now on 70, and as the time's ticking down, we still haven't had any goals elsewhere. Of course, if Spurs and concede and go behind, they'll obviously drop a point, and all of a sudden that gives us and Arsenal the advantage as we come forward again. Firmino out towards Mane, headed clear by Bertrand. We need to make sure that we get this job done before we get carried away. A 3-0 lead sometimes can be quite dangerous as a Liverpool fan, as I've seen. I've been on the end of both of those, the good side and the bad side. Crystal Palace, that wasn't the most fun I've ever had, I must say. As the time's ticking away there, about 20 minutes or so left to go, we'll start to think about changes soon, and what do we want to be doing? Do we want to be doing anything at all? I mean, when it's this good, with 15 minutes to go, you don't really want to change anything. As Buffal puts a ball in, great ball in as well it was, into Charlie Austin. I could have done without that, to be honest. The goal difference is becoming important. I think what we'll do, we'll make a couple of changes. We'll take Henderson off for Grujic, give him a little bit of game time, and bring Danny Ings on. We'll also bring on Adam Lallana to play against his former club for Coutinho. I think 15 minutes to go, little bit of a triple change, bit of energy in the forward areas. Don't you absolutely dare do this sort of nonsense to me. Lallana heads it clear, Kolasinac gets rid as well, and it's going to be Lucas now playing it forward to Buffal. And if the ball's right, this is going to be a problem for us. He's drilled it to the front post. Charlie Austin's come on and absolutely ruined my day. I don't know what to do now. Do we just go to the counter-attack and panic a little bit? I mean, we're talking about the 70-point club that's currently developing. I don't want to not be a part of it. This could be a very bad 12-minute period here as the ball's put across. Charlie Austin, Jack will be loving this if he's watching, as they come for. This could be the quickest hat-trick in Premier League history unless we find a way through. Danny Ings finds a ball out towards Lallana. He's got Mane to his right-hand side, and Lallana goes on his own. Please pull it across. Keita's there. Knock it in. Grujic. Oh, it is a golden opportunity. It is a golden opportunity, and he squandered it. Now, if the time just wants to run down and finish, that would be great. I think there's another highlight, though. No, it's okay. We're fine. Time's ticking away, though. There's been a goal. Spurs have scored, and Kudu with it. So that puts them back at the top of the table. United still being held by Watford, though. The goal difference with Spurs is becoming a bit of a problem. 15 seconds to go. It looks like we're going to hold on here. Arsenal as well look like they're going to hold on against Everton. 3-2, it got a little bit tense. I could have done with those 2 extra goals, I have to say. That is a bit annoying, but it's still very, very tight at the top, and it's set to be a very exciting climax now as we come to the end. A huge win, though, against Southampton, of course, a very close rival for that 4th, 5th position, and we've now dealt with them. They're out of the way, and we've got a little bit of work to do. 3 games to go, just to remind you then. I'm pretty sure we have Leicester, Sunderland and Everton to come, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sunderland, relegation in Sunderland, Leicester and Everton to go. So that's a key moment for us. Again, decent performance from us. Can't really complain too much. A 3-2 win is always pretty good. No goal for Firmino, but he was involved a little bit during the game. And it sets up a very exciting final 3 games of the season then. Just to remind you then, for games coming up, for those that are interested, we play Sunderland. We've got Arsenal against West Ham. Palace go away to United go away to Stoke. So that's going to be interesting. Spurs are playing away at Leicester, so that might be quite a tough one. Then we go away to Leicester. Spurs away at Watford, who of course have just held Manchester United. Arsenal at home to Hull, and United themselves away at Middlesbrough. And then that final day, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool. You've got Manchester United playing Manchester City on the final day, and Spurs playing Burnley. It's Spurs is to lose, and obviously it'd be quite interesting to see Spurs win the league on the first year of Football Manager. You don't see it all that often. So if you enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel, and we love with care. For me, let's mention. Until next time, Sunderland better watch out because they're in big danger.